Five, four, three, two, one. I'm John Miglosh with the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Okay, well, some good news from the Suez Canal. The the way is open, and I have some conflicting reports about just. We know they straightened out the ship, but we're not sure if it's sunk or floating or it can move, and I've gotten conflicting reports. But one of the things I have heard is that the ship was in the exact location that Moses crossed the Red Sea. No, the Suez Canal was built in 1869, so it was not there. If he wanted to go through the water, like we know happened, here's a picture of it. This is almost live from the Suez Canal. Then, then he would have had to go a different place. So I just wanted you to know, as I said, conflicting reports from the Suez Canal. But this is the kind of level that news is on right now. And we have to just go with it. We have to have some fun. So let's go over to cancel culture. That's the next thing. Women belong in the kitchen. We all know that's true. And Burger King ran this ad a couple of weeks ago and got in terrible trouble from everybody pushing back, telling us that this was sexist and terrible. And of course, the fine print says fine dining kitchens, food truck kitchens, award-winning kitchens, casual dining kitchens, ghost kitchens. I don't know what that is. Or G-Host kitchens, maybe it is. Burger King kitchens. If there's a professional kitchen, women belong in them. And it turns out that only about 10 or 15 something percent of professional chefs are women. So Burger King was announcing a scholarship and got in huge trouble for that. Yeah, just huge trouble. That thing we always say. Okay, so then they reached out to other brands about what logos and what catchphrases they could use instead of finger licking good, since it's been 64 years since they started saying finger licking good, which is almost as old as me. Eat the wings, drink the gravy, fill up on the fries. Just please forget the thing we normally suggest. Okay, so then they came up with a couple other logos like, but this is my favorite. They put up the Kentucky Fried Chicken and put it. This is in front of the Nike store and says, "Just do it." Okay, now the point is that there's got to be some. We got to have some fun again. We got to push back. Okay, we got to get serious about not being so serious. And I commend Burger King for going right into the teeth of it. Yeah, they're going to get some pushback. Peloton, of course, got in trouble for that attractive young woman on the Peloton bike. Who would have thought that would ever cause a controversy? But she smiles at her husband and says, "He got this for me." And all kinds of people said, "Oh, it's misogynistic and sexist," and but maybe that the wife generally appreciated it, and maybe she likes to work out at home. My wife works out. She likes the jazzercise. She likes to see her friends. Does she do that for me? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, kind of, sort of. I mean, look at me. I take care of myself. Anyway, so obviously, Peloton should have pulled the ad, but they didn't. They went with it, and they said, "You know what? We support a lot of lifestyles, and it seems like one of them is marriage." So I commended them for that. I thought, hey, way to stick with it. And Burger King, forged on, and so is Kentucky Fried Chicken. So I think that's a lot of fun, and I think it's okay. Okay, so if you're going to cancel culture, then you got to embrace. No, this is not a very good article. I'll post it so you can read it, but that's not the real thing. The real thing is winning. Keep on going. Cause a little trouble. Measure it. This is a really interesting article. It has nothing much to do with marketing, except it does mention the word direct mail somewhere in here. And it says send direct mail. Okay, so it says, but if you really want to get people to your college, what you want to do is get into March Madness. Now, part of the reason I wanted to talk about this was because it is about winning. And winning will get you things, almost like unintended consequences. When I was at Madison, they had much lower standards. I snuck in early because I was like not even in the top two fifths of my high school class or something. I goofed around a little. Can you imagine? And but I wonder how many of them have live streams every day. No, probably none. Anyway, so Madison, their college basketball team was so bad they made the tennis coach the coach because they figured he couldn't do any worse. The football team, I don't think they won a game while I was at school. We used to just cheer for the band. The band was great, but it's not quite the same. We had a good hockey team, which nobody covered. But Donna Shalala, who I'm almost had no agreement with on anything, she said a world-class school has world-class sports, and she hired, it'll come to me, but anyway, the athletic director, and he hired a bunch of good guys, and all of a sudden Wisconsin started winning, which made it a lot harder to get football tickets. You used to be able to drive up, basically arrive 5 minutes after the game started, and buy a ticket for $10 and just walk in, because nobody, it was, the games are so crowded, people are staying away in droves. So anyway, after I graduated, I used to come back for football games. They were still terrible, but the band was still good. But Donna Shalala, Barry Alvarez was the guy she hired, and Barry Alvarez put together a world-class system. And the University of Wisconsin, in the last 20 years, I think in the last 24 years, they've been to 23 March Madnesses, and they've been to, 16, 17 straight years with a bowl game, and winning most of them. And I read an article on that a couple of years ago, and it said that the average entrance GPA has gone from like 2.5, no, probably 3.5 to 3.8, which is huge. Going that's the average. That means like most of the kids have had like a 4 point coming into Madison. Why? I'll tell you why. It's really simple. When you get to March Madness, when you get to the bowl games, when you're nationally ranked, when you have nationally ranked teams and you're on TV, people want to go to that school. Kids want to go to that school. Athletes want to come. It's a self-perpetuating system. And Madison is way harder to get into now. I can't even believe it. That people just don't even try. There's a thing in the state of Wisconsin. It's so hard that if you go to a community college, one of the other UW, like UW Waukesha, UW we call it. Anyway, if you go to Waukesha for the first year or two, then you are automatically admitted to Madison. But they kind of weed you out that way. So, bottom line is winning gets you stuff. And this is a message that marketing needs to hear. In fact, that's what this guy said about colleges. Let's go over to Tom Fishburne. This is a great show today. I'm giving you information you never would get anywhere else. It's a scary thought. Okay, so here's Tom Fishburne for the week. Cringy TikTok videos, way up. Ads disguised as content, up. Tapered off lately. That's like the KFC. Virtue signaling. That's the opposite of KFC. Metrics no one in the company understands. And big little dots. And influencers. This is my favorite one. It kicks off at the end. Influencers pretending to like our brand, so they can get money. Yeah, we're going through that right now with a website launch, and we're starting to evaluate the influencers that are really influencing and those that are just fundraising and mention our brand like once in a blue moon. So anyway, the number of influencers trying to cash in are up, up, up. Okay, and Tom says, as marketers, we have to be careful not to settle for metrics. Okay, this is marketing performance at HBC. Who's this said this? Oh, Allison Hanrahan. head of marketing performance. We have to push for business outcomes. I would go further. It's not a farther, it's the next logical point. I would go further and say we need to get to ROI. We need to get to EBITDA. We need to get to bottom line profit increase. Can you demonstrate your marketing actually moves the needle at the bottom line of the company? You know, you're taking 10% of our revenue or so. That's a big number. That's the biggest expense number after probably payroll. Okay? We know what payroll contributes. If we fire everybody, we'll make money for a couple of weeks and then we'll go out of business, which, you know, sometimes works. But, right, but not the long haul. If you can't prove your marketing's working, go home. That's what I say. Okay? As marketing has grown more siloed and specialized, marketing activities are too often decoupled from business impact. There's no shortage of metrics, but are they metrics that matter? No. Are they metrics that can be understood across the organization? No. And you wonder why they cut your budgets when times get lean. Of course they're going to cut their budgets. Not all here's Burger King CMO. Not all campaigns will do everything. I think they promoted him now to CEO. But they should be doing something in the direction of objectives you have. Yeah, well, that's something. Not everybody will do everything. Now, some of his previous ones are better. How did our ad perform on your network? Great. Your awesomeness is up 22%. Your cool factor is up 36%. Your smiley face metric is up 58%. At least he didn't go into double digits. And your AMWTMU is up a record 84%. 0.4. See, that's when they put in the silly factor. And what's that? Another metric we totally made up. Yeah, that's a really good one. You know, and I have fought this battle for decades. Really. The internet is just the greatest place for measurement without testing and making money. Our new dashboard has all the different KPIs we can track. What's that one trending to zero? Down here. It measures how well we understand them all. Okay, you got that? So, winning is it. And looping back to my theme, my regular theme at wdma.org, is direct marketing is all about testing. Mail is one of the most cutting-edge mediums for testing. We can actually prove what works and what doesn't, then roll it out. We have case studies on this. We need to have case studies. We need to show winning. And even the case studies I read they're not set up properly. They don't really get you head to head or even attempt to. That's what we need. We need clients who are going to say, I want to know for sure. And until the clients want to know, until the clients settle for the BS that's dished up, and we talked about that on Friday. Go back to Friday's show. It's wonderful because it's by an ad agency guy, and he basically says, I don't know why people buy. I don't know what makes them buy. I just make it up. And he finally admitted it. I think he must have just retired. But anyway, until the clients, because I was in an ad agency and I pitched knowing what's really going on, knowing what's working. And when the president and the CFO was in the room, they would nod and they would say, we want this agency because they talk about winning. They talk about what matters. And then we would get the account. We got 5 out of 5 while I was at the ad agency and was involved with the pitches. And then when they'd walk in the door, it wouldn't be the president. No, it was the ad manager who wanted to win awards. He wanted something pretty and breakthrough and didn't care if sales went up at all. He really didn't care. And they didn't invite me to the meeting, to the kickoff meeting. And they always had great snacks. So I finally asked our ad director, why don't I ever get to come? And they said, well, we understand that you won, but your portfolio is ugly. We don't ever want to see it again. And The client wants to win awards. We want to win awards. If we worry too much about measurement and testing and results, it reduces our freedom, our creativity. And that's why marketing is in the pickle it's in. Fight for winning. Go to your CMO. Go to your CFO. Go to your CEO and say, you know what? You want to cut out mail. There's this guy I watch, and he says we can prove what works with mail. It's really hard in social. It's really hard in mass media. It's really easy in mail. I'm not asking for your whole budget. I might later. But right now, I'm asking, do you want to know for sure? Because if you do, you're barking up the wrong tree with most marketing. I'm John Miglosh. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. Have a great day.